from the Coin Center in downtown Portland. This is KOIN 6 News. Watching out for you.
A boil order is in effect tonight for all Portland water customers. We're getting the facts about how likely it is that that water could actually make you sick, and we're checking with local businesses about the impact this is having on their bottom line. Now, the Portland Water Bureau tells us they issued that boil order today after 3 days of water samples testing positive for E. coli.
So here are the facts about what's next when it comes to our water. We've learned the city is flushing both of the contaminated reservoirs, doing additional water testing, and investigating the area for possible sources of contamination. Now, it takes 18 hours for those new test results to come back. The city does tell us tonight they will have those test results early tomorrow morning. If they're all clear, the boil order will be lifted. If not, it will continue. We asked officials if anyone has gotten sick so far from E. coli. They tell us it's too early to tell, but they will continue to monitor the situation. Now, the city says the risk is low for getting sick, but tonight we went to an independent expert to weigh in. Joel Iwanaga begins our complete coverage with a fact check. He's live at Mount Tabor. Joel?
Jeff and Jenny, good evening to you. As we speak, reservoir number 5 here behind me continues to drain in all of its 49 million gallons. But the big question, just how real is this E. coli scare? Well, as you mentioned, experts I spoke with say the threat is low. As a Portland resident, are you boiling your water?
Absolutely not.
Microbiologist and former Portland Utility Review Board member Scott Fernandez says not to worry. In fact, Fernandez tells me by boiling your water, you stand an even greater risk in your kitchen. Should people be boiling their water? Do you think that it's...
That's up to them. The EPA recognizes that a boil water order is very serious because more people get harmed by boiling the water and getting burned and causing fires within their units.
The city is recommending boiling your water or using bottled water, but admit they're taking a very cautious approach.
But we think the risk to the public is very low, and the basis of that is the series of results that we've received, plus the fact that in addition to checking the microbiology, they also check the amount of chlorine in the water, and it's very adequate and should make the water safe.
So we asked, why issue the boil water advisory?
But the reality is this is a heavily regulated area of our water quality. And we have specific guidelines we follow.
Emergency room doctors agree with the low threat risk of Portland's E. coli scare.
The chance of contracting this would be very low, and now they just have to watch, for any of those signs and symptoms.
Those symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and abdominal cramps. In most cases, doctors tell me your body takes care of the bacteria itself without seeing a doctor. We're back live here on Mount Tabor tonight, where I'm told that Portlanders' drinking water is now being bypassed of these reservoirs until those tests come back negative. Again, they should have those test results sometime tomorrow. Reporting live here in Southeast Portland, I'm Joel Iwanaga, KOIN 6 News. Jeff and Jenny, we'll send it back to you.
Joel, thanks. And, we asked where the impacted water will go. Well, the Water Bureau says it's getting dumped into Reservoir 6. You may remember that's the same place where the water went that a man is accused of urinating into last month at a different Mount Tabor reservoir. The city tells us whatever water doesn't fit into Reservoir 6, they will dump slowly into the sewer system. We found out that reservoir has been empty for some time and it wasn't being used. So will the water stay there? Well, the city says if the water stays clean, they will leave the inactive reservoir filled because it's more aesthetically pleasing. And tonight we're digging deeper into the economic toll that this boil order is taking on our local businesses. Now, we found signs on some restaurants closed on one of their busiest nights. Some businesses that stayed open tonight tell us they're also losing out on revenue. Jessica Morkert is live with more on that. Jessica?
And every restaurant is different in terms of how they're handling it. For example, Bridgeport Brewery, that's where we're live at right now. They are open tonight, but suffice it to say that this has been very frustrating. And for other restaurants that we've spoken to, they are closed and are losing thousands. To close on a Friday night, Memorial Day weekend, the financial toll must be significant.
It's huge.
Chairs turned over on tables on a Friday night means money lost at Deschutes Brewery. The normally bustling restaurant is empty, with last call happening at 2 p.m. today. Inside are huge vats of boiled water to take care of dishes, produce, and more for a Saturday open. But for tonight, the damage is done.
I don't know that I'm furious with the city. It certainly isn't something we hope happens frequently, and it feels like after the third time it's frequent.
I checked and found out that restaurants comparable to Deschutes can lose upwards of $20,000 on a busy weekend night. Head chef Jill Ramsier tells me after 3 times in 6 years, there are rumblings of addressing the matter with the city. At other restaurants in town, like Tennessee Reds in Southeast Portland, they may not be closed, but it's costing much more just to make a drink. Money is being spent on seltzer, soda water. Drinks are served without ice and beer in cans.
Not the most convenient thing, but we got to do something about it.
Sure. It's not just restaurants. We also learned that all Stumptown coffee locations are closed until further notice. And for the opening day of the Rose Festival,
well, it is. I have no hand washing system, so I'm having to use bottled water to wash my hands.
A festival spokesperson tells me the city fair hasn't incurred many costs because of the boil order, but individual vendors have, throwing out pre-prepared food and drinks that took much of the day to make. So Bridgeport Brewery is one of the many breweries that are open tonight and will be open throughout the weekend. As for Deschutes, they tell me that they will open back up tomorrow at their regular time, 11 o'clock. Live in the Pearl District, Jessica Morkert, KOIN 6 News.
Jessica, thank you. Local stores seeing a rush on bottled water with the boil order in effect. You can see the bare shelves at the downtown Portland Safeway store tonight. They tell us they brought in 2 emergency shipments of water today. We asked, and if you still need bottled water, the store tells us they'll be bringing in another emergency shipment tomorrow morning.
Well, many of you have been emailing and calling us with some specific questions tonight on the boil water order. Now, that includes what to do for your pets. Well, we went to a veterinarian at Dove Lewis tonight to find out. Now, they tell us pets already have bacteria in their bodies, so drinking the water should not impact them, but it is safest to boil their water or give them bottled water.
Several of you also asked us what you should do with the water filtration system inside your refrigerator. And we found out many refrigerators have a flushing process, so check your refrigerator manual to find out how to clean it.
And some parents also contacted us tonight with concerns about how their child's school handled this boil order. Now, one mom whose son goes to West Sylvan Middle School tells us the kids there had to pay for bottled water. She says when her son came home and told her what happened, she didn't believe him, but when she called the school, the secretary told her it was true.
This is outrageous. This is unacceptable for the school to have put the kids in this position. And they sent an email out stating that they would be providing water for the kids, and they didn't do that.
You shouldn't have to pay for water if you're thirsty and something like this happens. The school should be able to supply you with water.
We contacted the Portland School District tonight to get their response. We still have not heard back, but of course we will be following up.
And tonight we want to know why the city waited 3 days since it first detected that bacteria to tell the public. The city tells us they take 240 samples a month. They say those tests routinely show positive signs of contamination, but they wait for follow-up tests to confirm. Now, we also asked the city to keep the information secret until the controversial water measure was decided during Tuesday's election. Is that what they did in this case?
No, it was a routine sample that was taken on Tuesday, which was the day of the election, and those samples come back the following mornings.
The city also put up extensive information on the Water Bureau's website, but so many people went to the site that it repeatedly crashed throughout the day. So KOIN asked Water Bureau Commissioner Nick Fish if the city needs to upgrade its website. He said it is now something they're looking into.
And we got to go inside the emergency management office for the Water Bureau today. That's where they have been dealing with this water issue. Now, if you still have questions, you can call their customer service line. The number is on your screen there. It's 503-823-7770. We also have many more frequently asked questions at KOIN.com. And of course, stay with us for the very latest on this boil order. We will let you know as soon as it's lifted.
We're following up on the investigation into a program where parents say local children were having to pay with play money to use the restroom at school. Now, we filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the Evergreen School District about this. Tonight, they released their findings to us. And according to the investigation, the Mill Plain third grader who had an accident in the classroom was not denied access to the restroom because of the play money program, but we found out he did have to wait because another child was in the restroom. The investigation also says the student did not express the urgency of the situation. Students earn monopoly money in class for completing assignments in good behavior. The school district is still investigating a second incident now, and we'll let you know what they find out from that case.
KOIN 6 is getting results for a local veteran dealing with identity theft. And we first told you about him last week. Jesse Crane served in Iraq and suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and other physical issues. Well, he depends on the $1,300 a month that he gets in disability benefits, but he tells us that money ran out about 3 months ago when someone changed the direct deposit information on his account. He says he tried to get the VA to help and came to us when he couldn't get anywhere. Well, we called the VA office in Washington, D.C. to get him help, and Crane says it worked, and he now has all the back pay he was owed.
What I've been trying to do for the last 2.5 months, we accomplished in one day. And it's kind of ridiculous that I had to go to those lengths, but if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. And it worked. So I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful for KOIN.
The Department of Veterans Affairs sent us a statement saying they want to ensure all veterans receive their benefits, and they thanked us for bringing this attention to their issue.
City Fair is now open, marking the start of the Rose Festival, and it put on quite a show tonight. Those fireworks lighting up the sky along Waterfront Park tonight, and you can also see many people started to enjoy the rides at nighttime. City Fair runs through June 8th.
A local apartment complex puts in a no-play zone for kids, but is that even allowed? We're getting answers on the controversial policy. And next, caught on camera, hear from a professor who survived hours trapped in a crevasse.
Well, City Fair still going strong. Behind me, you can see the Ferris wheel still going. How will the events play out this weekend with the weather around? And how will Memorial Day play out? I'll have the hour-by-hour forecast for you coming up.
It's an amazing story of survival, all caught on camera. You're watching video taken by an American scientist after he fell 70 feet into a crevasse in Nepal. The experienced climber broke his arm, 5 ribs, dislocated his shoulders during the fall, but still somehow managed to climb out on his own. He says it took him 6 hours to reach the surface and another 3 to make it to his tent.
At that point, I was so close to death, they just literally had to drag me out of the tent and drag me onto the helicopter. I remember the utterly suppressed terror of being in that hole. Not something I'll easily forget.
He says he is not letting this experience slow him down. He's already planning another climbing trip for next month in Peru.
Wow.
When no bikes, scooters, or skateboards, neighbors in 2 apartment complexes say they're being told not to let their children play outside.
That's right. We're getting answers for them tonight. Now, this is all happening at the Sterling Park and Powell Court Apartments at Southeast 168th and Powell. People there say they were told the only place their kids can play is on the apartment balcony. Elisa Balick went to the managers to get answers about this, but they told her to leave, and then they locked the office door. So she went to the office of the Fair Housing Council of Oregon to find out if a play ban is allowed for safety reasons.
It's not the apartment's job to determine what's safe and unsafe for kids. It's their job to eliminate safety hazards on their property, which could be a risk to anyone, but it's the parents' job to make those decisions.
We asked, and now the Fair Housing Council will be contacting the woman who brought this issue to us to see if she wants to file a formal complaint. We will let you know what happens.
We're following up tonight on the Oregon Secretary of State's website that was hacked. Well, a new state report blames a piece of third-party software that hadn't been updated for the breach. Officials say they won't name the software because of security concerns, but they say it's an application development tool commonly used by governments and private sector organizations. We've learned the software has now been patched. Officials tell us they're working to have future security updates installed automatically. The Secretary of State's office says it cost $176,000 to investigate and fix the problem.
Well, many of you may have signed up for a do not call list. Now Sprint will have to pay a $7.5 million fine for sending phone and text messages to those customers anyway. As part of the settlement, the company will set up a compliance program and report to regulators over the next 2 years. Sprint is blaming the unwanted messages on technical and human error.
Okay, the weekend is here. A lot of folks left town. They got out of town. They're camping. They're enjoying the great outdoors. How's the weather going to be, Kristen?
You know, it's looking pretty good, especially east of the Cascades all weekend long. Not a problem there. And for Portland in the metro area, we're going to have a pretty nice weekend, too. We're not going to see the rain return, in fact, until late Sunday. I'll track that for you in just a second. But take a look at this view from our tower cam. I just love this shot. The festivities still going at City Fair, and the rain cleared out just in time for that and for the fireworks to get going earlier. Muggy out right now, 59 degrees, but pretty comfortable out, and temperatures will stay fairly steady. We'll see them drop a little bit more as we head towards tomorrow morning, and by tomorrow morning we're going to be clearing out some of the clouds too. So partly sunny skies for us, partly to occasionally mostly cloudy skies, but we'll see some sunshine, mid-50s at 7 a.m., 9 a.m. in the upper 50s, and then look at this, a mild afternoon for us, getting into the low 70s tomorrow with partly to mostly cloudy skies, but we will see a decent amount of sunshine here and there. So it's going to be a pretty nice day for tomorrow. Now, before we get there, you do want to try to check out the meteor shower, and a lot of the scientists have been talking about this could be the best of the year if you have good viewing of it, and that's been kind of the trick for us, is because we've had to deal with the cloud cover and the rain. We are getting some breaks in the cloud cover, so with decreasing clouds as we head after midnight, mainly between 4 a.m. That's when we're going to have the best shot to see this meteor shower. Now, it hasn't been witnessed before, so there's still some uncertainty, but right now it looks like there could be 30 to 400 of them per hour. So definitely something to look for if you're going to be up that late tonight. Here's a look at the satellite and radar composite, and if you take a close look, you can see where the cloud cover is kind of hanging over Portland, but look at some of the breaks in the clouds. So we're trying to get these breaks going, and hopefully we can get more of them going in time to see that meteor shower later. Meanwhile, if you live out in the eastern parts of the state, you're definitely going to have a better shot at taking a look at that meteor shower later on tonight. Showers are already clearing out, starting to cross the border right now, and we are paving the way to a mainly dry weekend. It's just going to be that second half of Sunday that we're going to have to worry about. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., partly cloudy skies, could be a little cloudier down by the coast, and we may even see a bit of a sprinkle here and there tomorrow, but overall, mainly dry for the coast. For everyone else, we're not talking any rain either. And take a look. This is at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Look how nice we clear things out. Just a few clouds here and there for the metro area east of the Cascades. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Highs in the low to mid-70s. It's going to be gorgeous if you're heading to Bend. Beautiful weather for you. Sunday morning, 7 a.m., partly to mostly cloudy skies, and then the rain moves in for the second half of Sunday, that at 5 p.m., and then Monday morning, Memorial Day, showers to start off with. We could see some of that clear out as we head into the afternoon. So your Memorial Day forecast, not looking too rough at all, I don't think. For the coast, 60s there, valley in the 70s, out east in the low to mid 70s. And let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. And you can see that we will stay mainly dry. I think you have to look at the text. Don't look at the icons because it looks a little scarier than it really is. So just a second half of Sunday looking wet. A few showers to deal with Monday, but overall, it's looking great.
I don't like reading all that stuff on a forecast. I just like looking at the little pictures.
Well, he wears the granny glasses too. That's
they're so simplistic. You can only be so picky, with those icons.
So, but it doesn't look like a bad weekend overall.
No, I think it's going to be pretty decent.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thanks. Hey, still ahead, concerns continue tonight about delays at VA hospitals across the country, including locally. Why a local group is now stepping in to help veterans get care.
KOIN 6 News is brought to you by Jack in the Box.